Hi everybody, Julia here from Accessorize Your Life, doing a Shop My Stash, and I'm doing it a little different. We're going to start off reviewing the products that I used last month, which was February, as you know. February, get that out, right? This is a lovely Emily in Paris palette that is limited edition. It is divided into 3 sections. There's a quad there. There's a quad down below, and then there's a quad on this side here. And each of these shadows are nice. To my surprise, they are not as sheer as a lot of Lancome's shadows are. These gave me a really good payoff. This is a combination of metallic and matte eyeshadows, and they have a wet-dry formulation, so they're baked shadows, and you can just wet your brush and intensify your look if you want. I didn't even do that, I don't think, and these worked out so well for me. I was able to create a smoky, daring look as well as an everyday look. So these were a hit in my book. So too bad it's not available anymore, but what I do like about this is that you can pop this whole frame of shadows out, and then you have a trinket box shaped like a heart. So A+. And next up is the Mented. This is the Every Night palette. This is a really basic palette. It's good to have because it does have a mixture of rich toned colors, from champagne to peachy golds to purpley browns, chocolate browns, coppers, cranberry shades. You can do a beautiful nude with a bit of light to the eye looks with this palette. The shimmers and mattes, like I said, are rich in tone, and the consistency is nice, although my shadows are starting to look a little texturized or crumbly looking. That's because I've had this palette for a while, but it is a rather easy palette to work with. The shimmers feel satiny and rich, and the mattes feel creamy. So I had created some good looks with this palette, and yeah, so I know pretty soon it's going to be too old to use, but I'm enjoying it, or I did enjoy it last month. And next I have the Dior palette. This is the Ecran Couture palette. This is an eyes, face, and lips potted palette. You just lift this gold bar up and down, and this nice velour black casing is nice. You have a mirror there. Of course, these little things need to come out. But here is the palette. Isn't it rich looking? Again, this is an eyes, face, and lip palette. For the eyes here, you have this quint of shadows here. They are beautiful. They have a satiny finish to them, or to the touch, and they give you a rich, very luxurious finish on your eye. So I really like them. They complement one another, although they're neutral, but you can go smoky or you can go light for the day. You can do a variety of looks with just these 5 shadows. So I really like them. Next is the face. For the face, you have here a highlighter. Now this highlighter looks like a shell pink when I'm wearing it, and when I swatch it, it is very pretty. It's not overly luminous. It's just the right amount of light reflecting from your face when you wear this. It's almost like your face is lit from within, so who doesn't want that? And also for the face, you have these wonderful blushes right here, 2 of them. You have choices here. You can wear this lighter one, which is a pink all by itself, or you could wear this one all by itself, or you can mix them together, which I did all 3 ways and enjoyed wearing them. So this is a lovely palette. And then for the lips, you have these 4 choices here. The lips are really creamy and nice to the touch. They're rich colors. You can go from light here to more intense as you go down, from like a barely there, just like a sheen or maybe a frosty look almost, to more of an intense look when you get down here, but not too dark, just right for all skin tones, I believe, or for most, if not all. So this was wonderful using it, and I like it a lot. I'm glad I got it, and it has great payoff even for my deep toned skin. And I never use these little things if I can help it. I like to just keep them. Alrighty, next we have Danessa Myrick's Light Work Volume 3. Now, when I look at this palette, and I think she intended this, I know she did, mine is dirty. She intended this palette to do just what I think it's doing for me, is be a representation of a natural display of light. Because I think of the northern lights or the aurora when I see this palette. And then when I looked closely, because you know, without glasses, I can barely see these little prints. But when I look closely, it says Polaris for this color. It says Galaxy. And it says right here, Aurora. So yeah, I get it. I get it. So it's Lightworks, and that's what she meant by this. Definitely the Aurora, the Northern Lights. And that's what you get when you wear this duo and multichrome set of colors here. They are satiny and they have a glittery base. They're just beautiful and they feel good to touch. So I enjoyed wearing this. I even wore this color right here. What's the name of it? Gala or something. It's smudged all over. I can't see it with the shadow, but anyway, it's looking brown in the camera, but when I look at it, yeah, this one's looking green to me. And this one is actually green, and it's looking purple. This one's looking purple in the camera, but this one is looking kind of golden brown to me. And this one is looking green to me, but it's looking brown in the camera. But anywho, I wore this to work and it came off as a green look and I loved it. And with my hooded eyes, it wasn't too much because, you know, the lids take up most of the shadow unless you go up really high. Okay, next up is this eyeshadow from Armani. It is a liquid eyeshadow and it's still good. It's more than 6 months old in my collection, but what I like about it is that it's easy to go on the eyes and it gives you enough time to really blend it out before it dries down. And once it dries down, it's set, so that's nice about it. And it doesn't have a scent to it, so I think it's still good. It's still working for me. So it's fluid, it's still working, and no scent. Right now I have it in number 53, and Armani is calling this actually an eye tint. So yeah, and it also plays well with other shadows that I've worn. So even though it looks kind of funky on the outside, kind of gotten this white haze over it, it's still good. So that's the color and I have been enjoying it. I have been wearing it with my Sicily liquid eyeshadow that is in my Wakanda panning project, and they went well together, if you can see that. So yeah, it's working well for me. So guys, those are the eyeshadows I used last month, and now let's go into the eyeshadows I pulled for this month. Okay, so what's in my shop, my stash for March? I'm gonna start off with this Whitney Houston palette. This palette was made by MAC and Whitney's family or close friends, I don't know who, but it didn't get the greatest of reviews, but I'm willing to give it a shot and have it in my collection. So this is what it looks like. I am going to be using this primarily for work, I feel, because I think it's rather neutral. It has a few pops of shimmers in there, and I think I can work with it rather well. Some reviews say that it's MAC's regular formula, that they didn't go out of their way to make it more like what they would imagine Whitney Houston wearing. And in the same vein, I picked up one of the lippies. The lippies from that collection is Nipsey's Feisty Red. And I have it on my lips today, so it wears well. And I'll show you what it looks like here. And it's just a red. So it's creamy though, it feels good. So that's nice about it. So those are two things that are in my this month's shop, my stash. And I'm also going to bring in this Urban Decay Wild Greens palette. I haven't heard anything about this palette. I'm assuming it wasn't that eventful or well liked because no one really spoke on it, but I am going to give it a shot. It has some nice greens in it and I thought it would be appropriate for the month. And you may have seen me use this palette just this week in a collaboration with Beauty Over 40. I didn't want anything to fall out. So I'm going to continue using it. It has an abundance of rich, intense colors. And I've also pulled two other palettes. They're both neutrals. This is from Lurella. It's What's the Tea. I don't know if I'm going to like this palette on me. It's really pale looking. I do have it on my eyes today, but I am just bumming around the house. I really went for a neutral look using this and this right here. But I guess it'll work for every day, like I'm using it today, but it's just nothing exciting about it. And I also pulled Jaclyn Hill's palette because this is her Divine Neutrals, because I felt like I wanted another neutral palette in case What's the Tea wasn't to my liking. And here we are. I think I rather liked this palette. It is really almost next to boring as much as the What the Tea is. Palette is. And this is the one from Chanel. I think I left it in my tray to use again. Some of those berries and the pinkish berries there and gold. So I like this. It has a very luxurious feel to it, satiny feeling to the shadows. I also pulled this single by IBY. This is in Dance Party. It's like the color of my sweatshirt almost, but it has a little shimmer to it. So I will be wearing this month, you see. And I pulled a second one from IBY to go along with that one, just to have some contrast maybe. Can you imagine the eye look with those two? Let's do that one again. There it is. And that's what it looks like in the pan. I hope it's just my glasses that are foggy and not the camera. I also pulled another liquid eyeshadow. This one is from Giorgio Armani and it's in shade 54. It's an orangey look. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it and what look I plan to create with it, but I just pulled it anyway because I know these need to be used up. And I pulled one, no, this is not a eyeshadow, forgive me. This is actually a single, but it is a blush, but it's in a tiny container. But this is by MAC, and this is an orange blush that I pull. So it might have a nice go with that orange eyeshadow there. Here it is. That's the blush. This is the shadow. So I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to what I pulled. I just pull stuff. I pulled a couple of blushes. You saw me use this one maybe if you saw that video. I used it on the collab video. In the collab video. It's very pretty. And I pulled the Liss LYS blush in Higher Standard. Everybody's seen this. This is a cream blush. So I went ahead and pulled that. And I pulled a Mario blush. It is in Wild Berry. I pulled this one before. It's a little lighter than the previous one. And you just saw that other blush from MAC, the orange. So those are my blushes. I pulled a contour, which I used in that video from Natasha Denona. This is an oldie but goodie. It's still in my collection. I like this a lot. And for my lips, in addition to the Nipsey's lipstick from MAC from Whitney's collection, I pulled a Lurella lip gloss, which I also used in that video. Black Panther lip gloss. A Sicily lipstick, which you saw me use. And that's it there. Yeah, that's it there. I used the Kosas powder in that video. And I also pulled that's a setting powder. I mean, it's a compact powder. And I pulled a loose powder, Huda and Kanafa. So Huda's powder and Kanafa. I pulled that. A loose powder. I think it's good to have a loose and a setting or a compact powder. And let's see, a highlighter. I pulled this stick highlighter also from Ulta Beauty. And I pulled two foundations, La Mer. For my liquid foundation, I have it in number Sienna, number 460, I believe I see here. I also pulled MAC foundation. This is the Studio Fix, and I have it in NC50. So it's like a creamy to powder foundation, or cream to powder. I think it's more of cream. And then I pulled for my concealer, the Maybelline 30 Hour. This is the Super Stay Active Concealer, and I have it in shade 50. Now things are coming across this video. And that's about it, guys. That's it. My Shop My Stash is a little on the slim side. Oh, there's one more highlighter. Forgot, it's sitting over here to the side so that I don't knock it over and waste it. But this is from Becca. And I picked these up quite a while back from the cosmetic store, company store, whatever. X's and O's and hearts in here. This was a collaboration, I think, with, who was this? Chloe and Malika, it says here. So this is what it looks like. And I use that as a highlighter as well. So that's it. That's truly it right now of what I have for this month's Shop My Stash. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to anything here, and I hope it all works well together. All right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.